Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley. If you're new on this channel, well, you're welcome, and if you're returning back, I'm very happy to have you back. On this channel I talk about faith-related content. I talk about motherhood, I talk about marriage, and at times some lifestyle content. So if you like this type of content about God, about how God operates in our marriage, in our daily lives, in our motherhood, well, this is the right place for you to be. Make sure that you subscribe, make sure that you like, and make sure that you stick on because I'm about to dig into this topic today. Okay, for today's topic, I wanted to talk about the reason why I believe that you should pray for your future husband. Before digging into the subject, I would like to ask those questions first. If you're not married yet and you're outside waiting on marriage, have you started praying for your future husband? That's number one. So are you praying right now this time for your future husband? If you're married, I would like to know, did you pray for your future husband that is now your current husband? Did you pray for him before you met him? And if so, at what age did you start praying for your future husband? So until I get all those answers in the comment, I'm just going to continue and go ahead on the subject of the reason why I believe that you should pray for your future husband. Okay, so the reason number one why I believe that you should pray for your future husband is that I believe that praying for your future husband, it just gives us that clarity of what we want into marriage. I think that very often when we are asked what we wish for a future husband or what we want into a marriage, it's very easy for any woman out there to just look at those physical traits. You want a husband that's tall, a husband that has muscle, a husband, that's fit. We look at a husband that's handsome. It's very easy for us to look at all of those traits. And while all of those things are not really bad, they're very good actually to look into a man, I believe that those traits are not enough to sustain a marriage. That's why I really believe and I really want to encourage any woman out there who is waiting on marriage to pray for their future husband. However, when you start praying for your future husband, I believe that God gives you the eyes of the Spirit. He opened your heart, He opened your eyes for you to not just look at those physical traits, but rather to just look at those godly traits. So you start looking for a man according to God's desire. You don't just look at a man that's handsome, a man that's tall, but you also look at a man that's compassionate. You also look at a man that's able to lead you through the prayer. You also start looking for a man that's intimate with Lord. Think that can, like I say, sustain a marriage, because trust me, inside marriage can be difficult. And if you don't have the prayer, if you don't have the patience that's required, if you don't have the tolerance that's required, it can be hard to really commit into a marriage. If your future husband does not have those traits, or if you yourself do not have those traits, like I say, being patient, being kind, forgiving easily, not being easily irritated, it can be very hard to commit to the marriage. So that's why it's very important to pray for your future husband. Also, I believe that as you pray for your future husband, God also starts showing you your own value. He starts showing you what you are worth. And when you know what you are worth, you definitely want to also meet somebody. You also want somebody that will be able to appreciate those values. And in doing so, you start setting those boundaries for yourself. You start setting boundaries about what you wish into a man. So that when that man comes, you don't have to be led by your emotion to decide whether you should stay with him. But because those boundaries are already set before the man comes, it just helps you to weed out, which one is the right man for you, which one is not the right man for you. There's a lot of men outside, but not all of those men are meant for you. Only one is meant for you. And that's why it's very important to pray for your future husband. Because through your prayer, you're able to weed out, which one is the right man for you. I also think that sometimes when you are very in love, there are behavior that normally you would not tolerate. But when you are in love, sometimes you don't think with your head. You don't even think with your spirit no more. You just go by emotion. So things that you will not really tolerate in life, you start tolerating that just because maybe that person just bring you some flowers or tell you that you're beautiful. You start tolerating those behavior that normally you will not tolerate. And that can be an issue in marriage. That's why it's very important to pray for your future husband, so that you are praying for him and God is also helping you to transform that person so he can be the best man he can be for you. Another reason why I believe it's important to pray for your future husband is that I believe that praying for your future husband, it just helps establish that bond spiritually between you and your husband. You don't know where is your husband. You don't know who is going to be your husband, but God knows where he is. So through the prayer, you are able to meet that husband spiritually. You're able to intercede for that husband. You're able to pray God to prepare that husband so that he can be ready for you. Because if it's true that we all have our other half outside, and that you are praying here to meet him, but that other half is somewhere out there dancing, not praying to meet you, he's not getting ready, you meet that person in marriage with all the burden. One other reason again why praying for a future husband is important is that praying for your future husband, it helps uplift your husband in time of difficulties. I mean, again, like I said, you don't know what your future husband is. He can be close to you. It can be right now into trouble. It can be, drinking. It can be maybe addicted to alcohol, addicted to drug. It can be with the bad reputation. And so through your prayer, you are able to uplift that man, in his difficulties, so that it does not come into your marriage with all his burden. For some people, they find love unexpectedly. They got married, they stay together and life is beautiful. And other people also, they find love unexpectedly. And now, in the marriage, they have to deal with battles that are not theirs. So because they did not pray before they got married or before they met the future husband, then they may end up with a man that's, yes, sweet, but a man that does not want to follow God. Or a man that's maybe sweet, but he just like to party too much. Or a man that's sweet, but he like too much maybe alcohol. It's hard for him to get sober. And so you start fighting those battles, praying for things that you should not pray inside the marriage. Those things were supposed to be fixed outside of the marriage. Yes, within the marriage, we have our own behavior, our own habit that we still have to fix. It's a continuous lead toward perfection. However, again, like I said, you don't want to fight battles that you should not fight inside your marriage. And that's what's important to pray for your future husband. Maybe your future husband out there that does not know God. So if you have this blessing of knowing God and you're able to pray for your future husband, why not? So you're praying for him, you're uplifting him in your prayer. You are helping him get out of those bad frequentation. You're helping him get back out of maybe the alcohol habits. You're helping him get out of maybe the pornography. You're helping him get out of those vices that that you don't want to see into your marriage. Also, let's be honest. Prayer does not stop, outside of the marriage. Even when you get married, you also need to pray. So I believe that as you pray outside of your marriage, you also set an habit to pray inside your marriage because you're already used to pray for your husband already. One more reason why I believe that, it's important to pray for your future husband while you are waiting is that I believe that prayer just give us the strength to hold on to the promise that God has for us. When you pray for your future husband, when you remain in prayer, it just gives you that peace of mind. Because you know that you pray God for your future husband. And because you trust God, you know that he will do it at the right time. So instead of panicking, instead of being too sad, you are much more at peace. Yes, even when you believe in God, there is time where, yes, the devil will try you. There will time where, even though you are Christian, you start maybe doubting a little bit. You start maybe wondering, is there something wrong with myself? Am I the good one? Am I the one in fault? You start doubting of yourself. But again, like I said, when you pray God, when you believe in God, all those thoughts that will come to your head, yes, they may come, but they will not last for long. They will be just, momentarily, because you come back to your own self and keep your eyes onto the cross because you believe that he will make for you in the right time. So again, these are the reasons why I believe, again, it's important to pray for your future husband. I believe that praying for your future husband, it just helps you to be focused. It helps you to weed out, men that should not be in your life. It also guards you from doing things that you should not do. Because when you start praying for your future husband, when you start praying God also has some rule. He has some commandments. So as you start increasing your intimacy with God, as you start increasing your time with the Lord, you start also knowing things that God wants, things that God likes, and things that he does not like. And because of those rules, those commandments, it protects you. It guards you from you maybe going outside, dating, kissing somebody, for you maybe going outside and giving yourself to somebody because you want to be pure. You want to remain pure. Like the Bible say, our body is a temple of the Holy Spirit. So all those word passage, all those Bible passage help you to just remain focused, and then wait patiently on your time, because you know that our God is a faithful God, and He will do it at His own time. He will do it when He's ready. And I hope that this message bless somebody outside. I hope that through this video you learned something new today. If you have not started praying for your future husband, I would definitely encourage you to do so. I would definitely encourage you to set those boundaries of what you want into a man. And if you're not sure, because to be honest, when you are not married, you think you know what marriage is. You just, all you see, you maybe see married couple outside, and you think that, oh, maybe this woman husband maybe yells too much, so I don't want a man that yells. Or maybe this woman husband is always this or that, and I don't want that. You think you know what is marriage, but really you don't know. All you see are just glints. And so because you don't really know what is marriage, because you don't really know what are the qualities that you need for marriage, because you don't really know what are the equipment and the armor that you need in order to get into marriage, that's the reason why you should pray. Because God knows. So He will be able to reveal to you what you need, how you have to prepare yourself before you meet your future husband. So again, I encourage every woman out there to pray for the future husband. If you have not done so, like I was saying, I hope that you start. And if you want to start into that path about praying for your future husband, one more thing I'm going to ask for you is just to be very detailed about what you ask God. Don't be scared. Don't be shy about asking what you wish for a man. I know myself, for example, before I met my husband, I was first anchored into God. I was anchored in the presence of the Lord. I was praying. I was constantly praying before I met my husband. So eventually, when I pray for my husband, I definitely ask God, number one, for a man, that loves God with all his heart. A man that will be able to let me worship and pray my God. Because based on where I come from, and based on how much the Lord have saved me, how much He has uplifted me, He has blessed me in my time of difficulty, I did not want a man that will stop me from praying my God. I did not want a man that also will prevent me from, like I said, from worshiping, that will not be able to uplift me in the prayer. So number one, I ask God to give me a man that will be able, like I say, to help me, to allow me to pray my God. I ask for a man that loves God. And I ask for much more than that. But I believe that, to be honest, I don't think I ask really deeply into, I don't think I ask deeply into, I was not very detailed in what I asked the Lord. Maybe because it was my first time. Nobody really told me or showed me to pray for my future husband. The way it works for me is that, I went through a season, of sadness, a season of brokenness from a past relationship. And as I was praying to the Lord, just the idea just came to my head, why not pray for a future husband? And so as I was praying for my future husband, like I said, because I was not really sure, or I don't want to say I was doubting, but I was not sure I did not know really much about the power of God, even into singleness, even into marriage. I was hesitant in asking certain stuff. So I asked the basic stuff, or I would say I asked the most important stuff for me. So at least, for example, I may ask, at least if you love God, and that's fine for me. And for whatever I asked the Lord, I receive it. I'm not going to lie. For whatever I asked God, I did receive it. And that's where I realized about the power of praying for your future husband. And since then, I've been encouraging anybody that I know outside that is not married yet to make sure that they ask God. To not be ashamed to ask God about what they want. And be honest with God. So I'm really going to end this time over here. I'm going to end this video right now here. And like I said, I really hope that this message, bless somebody there. I hope that this message encourage somebody there to start writing about what they wish for the future husband. So if you've watched me right now until this minute, I really appreciate that. Thank you for all your time that you took to watch this video. And please, make sure that you subscribe, make sure that you like, make sure that you share with your friend. And until then, I will see you guys back next time. Bye-bye.